If you've been following this series, you'll know I've been going through my time playing volleyball in Uppsala in Sweden game by game. I do plan to catch up to the present day at some point, as at the time of writing I'm currently 2 years behind. However, on the current trajectory, that's never going to happen because I'm too slow at making videos. So, in an effort to expedite the process, I'm going to cover more games per video so that hopefully we can catch up sometime soon. Anyway, so all of this is to come. Going back to the time in Uppsala then, we're picking up the action just before the Christmas break. I went home back to Norwich in the UK over Christmas for about a week and a half. This time in Sweden is the longest by far I'd ever been outside the UK. I don't think I'd ever been away for longer than like a week and a half summer holiday before. So it was quite a strange experience then coming back home. I really enjoyed it. Lots of the little things about the UK I appreciated more having had a different perspective now living away. I returned to Uppsala on New Year's Day to ready to start training again. I didn't go back to work for another week, which meant I had a full week of just volleyball and nothing else. It was a real taste for the life I'm trying to work towards of playing fully pro. So for that week, my day would be that I'd get up, go to the gym, come home, have some lunch, go to training, come home, and then I've got the full rest of the day to work on your YouTube videos or whatever other projects it might be. Obviously, if you were playing as a full-time pro, maybe you'd have another training session in there, whether it's just serve and pass or more S&C. But still, having the full day to dedicate all of my time and energy towards volleyball was excellent. The first game of the year was against Falkenberg. They finished the regular season second in the league, so it'd be a tough opposition. However, we were unveiling a new weapon, his name, Adam. For various reasons, we had to say goodbye to two of the international players we'd signed in the summer, and their replacement was Adam. He's made a massive difference to our season, has really added a lot in attack. This is a clip from the next season, but I mean, just look at this vertical from a standing block. It's an absolute joke. Anyway, so that, combined with hard-working training, meant we were coming along nicely as a team, and ended up putting up a considerably better fight in this game than we did earlier in the season, actually having multiple set points, which we managed to choke. Ultimately, though, we demonstrated the age-old thing of a team that doesn't know how to win versus a team that just does. When we got into those clutch positions, we didn't have what it took to finish it, and Falkenberg did, so fair enough. Still, progress is progress. We did actually think we won the second set with this ball, but I think Adam caught the net on his follow-through. Although I think we maybe had a case that the ball was down first, but never mind. Up next was Riga. We knew this was a big game to win. We lost 3-2 to Riga the first game of the season. I had to watch that one from Meg's sofa back in Norwich when I was still stuck waiting for my visa to come through. And my God, thinking about that makes me appreciate the time I did have in Sweden. Riga are an interesting team though. I'm planning to make a whole video about them because it's quite cool, but in a sentence, it's basically a high school / volleyball academy. So it's a team of basically the best juniors in Sweden. If memory serves me correctly, Riga had also gone winless after having beaten us in the first game of the season. So if there was ever a game to end our losing streak, it was this one. I've talked before about how tough it was losing game after game and how you really need to trust in the process and not lose hope. Credit to the players and coaches that I think we did that really well as a team. And so going into this game, there was real belief and confidence that we were going to win it. We started well and closed out the first set fairly comfortably. I think then we fell into a classic volleyball or sport trap of winning a comfortable set and then slightly taking your foot off the gas in the next one. Not intentionally, of course, and it's something we had talked about, but it's easy to talk about these things and deceptively hard to actually do it. Equally, I could be being unfair to Riga there, and actually it's just that they stepped things up or made some tactical or personnel changes that I didn't notice, and that's what made the difference. Either way, they came back into it and we lost the second set. Now is also a good time to mention how we've changed tactically ourselves. Any eagle-eyed viewers might notice that despite being an outside hitter by trade, I'm playing opposite. But I'm also still in the pass most of the time, only not when the set was in 6. We're playing with what we refer to as a fake opposite. I've also heard people call it playing with a power 4. Idea being basically you have a big hitter that prefers hitting on the left side, or maybe your setter is better at finding on the left. Either way, they're more effective in attack through 4. But you have your P2 that you still want to pass, so you just jiggle the reception around a bit and have the opposite passing hit on the right side. You had to stay pretty switched on doing this, especially when backcourt, as you play some rotations in position 1 hitting 10, and then others in position 6 hitting pipe. But I think it actually worked quite well for us, and I was pleasantly surprised in my effectiveness hitting on the right side, as it's not something I used to be that confident with. Thankfully though, the third set was a return to form, and managed to win it fairly comfortably, and continue that momentum into the fourth, which we also won without too much of a struggle. So there you have it, we finally won. Much as it felt great, and we certainly did enjoy the win, there was a lot of work still to be done and push forward and make sure this wasn't just a one-off. The next game then was against one of the Stockholm teams, Sollentuna. I started this game and I honestly don't know what it was, but I played absolutely terribly in the first set. I remember Michael, our coach, coming and asking me how I was feeling after rightfully bringing me off, and I just said, honestly, I have no idea what's wrong. I feel fine physically and mentally, but I just played really poorly. I did come back on and perform better, but still not anything special, And unfortunately, although we took a set, it was a somewhat close game, we weren't able to do enough to win. Next up was Hylte. If you saw the video about our away game against them, you know they are a force to be reckoned with. They hadn't lost a regular season game this year, or I believe the previous one, so it was obviously unlikely we were going to win. To know more about how we went about approaching this sort of opponent mentally, you can check out that video. But to the surprise of no one, we lost. For the first and only time this season, I had to miss the game from injury. I hadn't previously really had any knee problems. Occasionally I'd have a bit of pain or soreness, but it had never been enough to stop me playing. But for whatever reason, this game during the warm-up was really painful, so I had to sit this one out. Although after my lackluster performance the previous day, I doubt I would have started anyway. In the final game for this video, we had Unga at home. They were only a few spots above us in the league, so definitely a team we had a good chance of beating. Physically, I was feeling tip-top and managed a decent week in training, so I was in the starting six again. This was probably my favourite regular season game from this first year playing at Uppsala. I passed pretty decent and had my best game in attack, so apart from a couple of errors, I put away most of the balls I got on the right side. Now is a good time to mention that playing with Alex and Pontus, our setters, was an absolute dream as an attacker. Because of the speed they were able to set you, you would get so many broken single blocks we didn't have to do anything special and find the sideline. I didn't serve very well this game, apart from one net roller in the first set. I don't think I got any aces or 1-point passes. I made a few errors, which as a jump server isn't brilliant. But still, overall, it was a game I was much happier with my performance in, although definitely still room for improvement. Similarly, a better game for us as a team, we managed to take it 3-0. So there we are. We're coming towards the end of the season and finally have some wins on the board. In the next video, we'll look at our last run of league games and then our series we had against Sollentuna, which includes what is, well, without a doubt, my best or favourite memory from playing volleyball in Sweden, so not one to miss.